As homeschoolers, we all get the shocked faces when we tell non-homeschoolers how much time we actually spend doing school each day. Well, I managed to shock a homeschool curriculum rep. So last spring, I was at a homeschool convention and chatting with this rep about curriculum, and she asked me what grade level my son was at. My son was 4 at the time, and I started telling her all the various grade placements he was in for the different subjects. And I'll tell you guys those placements later in the video. But the rep gave me the look. You know, the one that said, "Really? You have that poor kid doing school all day?" She then politely asked me, "So does your child have time to play or explore his own interests?" And at that point, I revealed how much time we did spend on school in a day, and I could tell she did not believe me. Well, here's the proof. Take a look at this day in the life for our homeschool for my now 5-year-old kindergartner. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you exactly how much time we spent on formal school. But I'd also love to hear about how much time you guys spend on planned homeschool, because homeschooling looks different for everyone, and I'd love to see that variety. So drop your totals down in the comments. Hey guys, it's a little after 7 a.m. and as you can hear, the kids are up. I'm about to head upstairs to exercise. The kids are welcome to join me. Steven usually just works on building something. He's got connects out currently.
You want to make sure your hips are level. Let's take that leg down and the other leg up and down.
Forward. 5. 6.
I intentionally incorporate learning activities throughout the day, particularly for my daughter with the skills she's learning. And then Steven is just constantly asking me questions, so I'm Googling all day answers to his questions that I may not know. And I'm sure I'm not alone with that. Sometimes I feel like Googling should be a separate curriculum category in our homeschool planners.
What is the new audiobook?
The new audiobook is about Pocahontas. It is 7:51 when we're sitting down to eat.
What?
We're early today. Okay, Thea, come start the dishwasher.
Look at me. Square.
Triangle.
Triangle.
The kids are finally done with breakfast and their chores this morning. The chores took a little bit longer than normal. Normally they're done well before 8:30, and that's because they were dawdling. All they had to do this morning was load the dishwasher rather than unload it, make their beds, teeth brush, and then help me sort a basket of laundry downstairs. So since they knew that they were dawdling and not keeping up with things, they didn't have as much time to play before school. We have a hard start of 9 a.m. And in between now and when we start school, I will be finishing up chores. And Thea normally comes along and follows me anyways, wanting to help with whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh.
It is 9:04 and my daughter has been asking for the last 15 minutes to start school with Ziggy. So we're gonna start that right now. Go.
Go.
What's this?
Go.
And what's this?
King.
King. So does goat and king rhyme? Or does goat and boat rhyme? Go boat. Go boat. Good job.
3. 4.
4. Good job. I'm gonna mess them up. How many pencils are there now?
4.
Yep. Draw all the way to blue. Yeah, good job. Good job. Let's move it to the center. School with my daughter lasted about 15 minutes, and I've called Steven down from playing with Connects. Sometimes he comes down early and he can do a sticker book, but that was not today. Papers out? Yes, I can. Next one is lag.
Yeah.
Yes, you can, Thea.
Yummy.
So this year, Stephen is doing Beast Academy online for math, and I am loving the independence, and he is too. He gets to go through the program at his own pace without having to rely upon me to help him with the reading portion or guide him through the next steps. My daughter also loves it because that frees up a ton of time for me to do one-on-one activities with her. So now for preschool, I get to do all the extra fun art stuff, the games, the puzzles, anything she's interested in. I did promise you guys to tell you what Stephen's levels were at last spring as a 4-year-old. So back then, he was doing 2nd grade math, 1st grade reading, and at the time we were doing a 4th grade science, which was physics and engineering. Now you know why the curriculum rep was so shocked, but there's one thing I have not told you yet, and that is my son is gifted, and this is very typical for a gifted kid. Because of the way a gifted brain is structured, learning is just naturally very efficient for a gifted person. So teachers can cut out half of the scaffolded material in curriculum, and gifted kids can go through that curriculum just fine and get good results. Plus, gifted kids tend to like to fly through curriculum faster, asking to do more than is required each day. So spelling took about 5 minutes, and then we started him on Beast Academy. I'll cap him at an hour of Beast Academy so he can play as much as he wants, but he's only required to do 1 classroom. However, with the experience I've had over the last week or so since the start of school, it has been, he wants to play as long as he can because he loves the program. It's about 10:30 right now. We're outside. Stephen got on his bike. Thea's in the stroller, and we're going for a walk in the neighborhood. So it's about 11, we're back from our walk. Such a nice day out, but still it's the south. It's a little bit hot and sweaty. We're getting a snack and water. And then I'm not sure what's next. I usually give the kids an option of what to do the rest of the morning. So I gave the kids the options of playing, reading books, or doing the art lesson for the week, and they chose reading books. So we will get a head start on today. Reading books from the library is when a ton of our education happens, and I do that deliberately to try to encourage the kids to have a love for learning. So I always make sure that they have their choice of book at reading time. And then I normally add on 1 to 3 books on top of that with a particular topic or skill that I want to develop. So at this particular reading session, it was all about Thea's early literacy skills. And then Stephen was just tagging along with the exception of Bible. As with many homeschool families out there, we have a ton of child-led and initiated learning going on. So the extra books they ask me to read, the games, the educational videos that they request, that does fill out a lot of the extra portion of our day. So now that I've mentioned that, you may want to go back to your comments of how much time you spend on school to include the non-planned portions. So you can leave the planned portion in the comments, but just edit your comments, say, yeah, we have maybe this extra amount of time each day on the non-planned stuff my kids want to do. So we have a regular poem and the ology. I picked out these books to read, and Thea picked out Swimmy and Rainbow Fish. What'd Stephen pick? The Titanic! Woohoo! Al and Jane put on their life preservers, and while their father prepared to start the outboard motor, he pulled and he pulled on the rope to start. So I read to the kids for about 30 minutes. And then I started on Stephen's Titanic book. And with Stephen's books, there's always interesting discussions and things he wants to look up and has questions about. So that took us probably 10-15 minutes. So a total of 45 minutes for that reading session. So now it's lunchtime, reheating some leftovers, and then we'll listen to an audiobook at lunchtime too. Okay, Stephen, what audiobook do you want? I have a new one we can listen to.
I want the new one.
Okay.
Or the Titanic one.
Or the Titanic one? So which audiobook? Titanic or How to Be a Pirate?
Titanic.
Okay.
Now, in the darkness of that terrible night, even those who feared they had lost their loved ones forever couldn't help wondering, would help come?
So it's after lunch now, and it's about 12:45. So Thea is down for her afternoon rest/nap, and then Stephen's allowed to listen to an audiobook, play with anything up in the loft, maybe watch some YouTube Kids videos in the app, and this is my quiet time. Quiet time for Stephen is normally 1 to 2 hours long, and that's where a lot of the self-directed education comes into play for him during the day. I give him a spread of audiobooks to choose from, so a lot of times that's an Apologia textbook that he started at lunchtime and then just wants to listen to in the afternoon. I have biographies and other non-fiction books on Hoopla or the Libby app that I can set up for Stephen to listen to. I drop educational videos onto the YouTube Kids app on the tablet for him to pull down and explore on his own. But of course, there are many afternoons that he just wants to listen to a fun audiobook of his choice and play or do a project. So today, he chose to listen to the Boxcar Children and do a bunch of Connects building. So it's 2:15. I'm heading upstairs to do history and reading with my son before my daughter gets up. So we've got 2 books I'm hopefully gonna finish today, and then our reader. So Thea actually slept today, so she was in bed until 3. And now we're having a snack, and the kids have asked if we can watch one of the movies I borrowed from the library on the Titanic. Both of them love these videos. One of them's from National Geographic. I have one from the Smithsonian, and then there's one from the History Channel. The one from the History Channel I'm not quite sure is going to be acceptable, which is why I watch with the kids. Stephen's very, very sensitive. So I'm wondering if these actors will be an issue for him because he has issues with other things, which is a video that will be coming out probably in the next few weeks. So we just finished watching this, and it's an amazing watch. It's a new theory on why the Titanic sunk. I'm not going to give away the secret, but my kids both really enjoyed it. So after watching that video, the kids just played the rest of the afternoon and evening. So that's our day. The grand total of how much time we spent on formal education in this day in the life was about 1 hour. That was exactly how much time we did last spring, and that's another reason the curriculum rep did not believe me that my son was at that level of curriculum. And then the self-directed learning that Stephen sought out, including extra math that I didn't require, the educational audiobook at lunchtime, and the hour-long video we watched in the afternoon, and I think there's a few other things I factored into there. But all of that adds up to about 2.5 hours of extra education. And of course, that varies from day to day. After watching this video, you may be wondering, but what about the science and all the other courses you're supposed to fit into a typical homeschool day? Where do I put that? I'm very glad you asked. If you are wondering how in the world to fit it all in your own homeschool schedule, check out this video right here where I give you some revolutionary tips on how to do your scheduling. Your fingers, and you go down and then around. Now you do it. Down and then around. Good job.